She was Disney's newest princess, until the internet turned her into its villain. Rachel Zegler went from being hailed as Hollywood's next big thing to being blamed for one of Disney's biggest disasters in years. And somehow, just months later, she walked away with Glamour's Woman of the Year crown. How did the girl they called woke Snow White pull off one of the most shocking image reversals in Hollywood? This is the story of how a 24-year-old actress fought cancel culture, a $270 million flop, and an entire media storm, and still came out on top. Because as the world mocked her, Rachel Zegler decided she wasn't going to stay silent, and that defiance might be what saved her career. Back in 2018, a teenage Rachel Zegler answered an open casting call from Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. She was 17, no agent, no Hollywood connections, just a YouTube channel where she sang Broadway covers in her bedroom. Against all odds, she beat 30,000 hopefuls to win the role of Maria. Critics called her performance breathtaking. The film won her a Golden Globe. Rachel Zegler had officially arrived, the Cinderella story Hollywood loved to tell. But every fairy tale hides a twist. In 2021, Disney cast her as the lead in Snow White, its most iconic princess remake. It should have been her crowning moment. Instead, it sparked a culture war. Some viewers protested that casting a Latina actress, Zegler's mother is Colombian American, broke the skin as white as snow tradition. Then came the interviews. Zegler joked that Prince Charming was a guy who literally stalks Snow White. Conservative media pounced. Hashtags like #NotMySnowWhite and #GoWoke, Go Broke flooded social feeds. Rumors even claimed Disney executives started regretting the casting before the movie was released. And just like that, Rachel Zegler, once Disney's Golden Girl, became the face of its so-called woke agenda. What happened next was brutal. Clips of Zegler's comments went viral out of context. Memes mocked her interviews. Tabloids painted her as arrogant, ungrateful, even anti-Disney. When she posted Free Palestine on X, it ignited another storm, drawing fire from both sides of the internet. Comment sections turned toxic overnight. She went from movie star sweetheart to public punching bag before the film even hit theaters. And yet through it all, she refused to apologize for having opinions. "I'm a duck," she told Glamour. "It rolls right off my back these days." By the time Snow White released in 2025, Disney was in damage control mode. The production had ballooned past $270 million. After reshoots to re-add the 7 dwarfs that were originally replaced with magical creatures. But the PR damage was done. The film earned just $205 million worldwide, leaving Disney facing losses between $115 and $200 million. Reports claimed Disney executives quietly blamed negative press around the star. The studio distanced itself from the movie. No theme park tie-ins, no merch push. And Zegler? She became the scapegoat for a flop she didn't direct, write, or market. Online critics said she'd killed the Disney princess. But that wasn't the whole story. While the internet celebrated her downfall, Zegler refused to disappear. In interviews, she stood by her work and saying, "I love that film. I've seen it a few times and it became #1 on Disney." It's celebrated. Even after months of relentless criticism, she spoke calmly and proudly about the project. Some saw denial, others saw resilience. Her words, "Negativity is just louder than positivity," became her quiet clapback to an industry that had labeled her difficult. To her, the backlash wasn't proof she'd failed. It was proof she'd survived. One of the biggest surprises in her story, her friendship with Dame Helen Mirren. They met filming Shazam! Fury of the Gods in 2023, and Mirren became her fiercest defender. In Glamour's Women of the Year feature, Mirren called her Little Rachel, praising her grace and discipline. The two joked about forming a pussy power pact, standing up for women on set and behind the scenes. While tabloids mocked Zegler, Mirren and Lucy Liu vouched for her professionalism. Zegler later said that watching them advocate for crew members taught her what real leadership looked like, and those lessons would define her comeback. After the Snow White storm, Zegler crossed the Atlantic, not to run away, but to rebuild. She took on Evita in London's West End, reimagined as a raw, stripped-down pop concert. Her performance of Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, from the Palladium balcony, became viral for all the right reasons. Critics who once dismissed her now called her electric and transcendent. It was a dramatic reversal. The same press that mocked her was suddenly praising her power. Fans even dubbed it Rachel's revenge era. Some compared her comeback to Princess Diana's revenge dress moment. Symbolic, unapologetic, unforgettable. Then came the full circle moment. November 2025, Glamour's Women of the Year event in London. Rachel Zegler walked the red carpet in a sequined plaid suit dress, confident and radiant. She wasn't there as a Disney princess anymore. She was there as a woman who'd been through hell and came out shining. That night, Glamour crowned her one of the world's Women of the Year, alongside artists like Tyla and the Sugar Babes. The theme? Sisterhood. The profile, written by Helen Mirren, praised her fire and grace. It was the kind of redemption Hollywood rarely gives, but she earned it. When the headlines hit, Rachel Zegler named Woman of the Year. The internet didn't cheer. It erupted within minutes. Social media platforms turned into digital battlegrounds. Comment sections under Glamour's announcement were flooded with fire emojis, eye rolls, and paragraphs of rage. Woman of the Year? For what? Ruining Snow White. One comment read, climbing to the top of the thread with thousands of likes. Another sneered, "This is what happens when Hollywood mistakes controversy for courage." On X, users resurrected old clips of her interviews, the ones where she'd called Prince Charming a stalker, reposting them with captions like, "This is who they're celebrating now." Dozens of viral posts compared her award to a participation trophy, accusing Glamour of rewarding wokeness instead of merit. Some even claimed her win was part of a PR rehabilitation effort by Disney, speculating that corporate ties were behind the magazine's decision. It didn't matter that Glamour was independent. The narrative had already been written by strangers with Wi-Fi and grudges. The backlash grew louder as media outlets picked it up. Right-leaning commentators called her win tone-deaf, mocking her emotional acceptance speech as Hollywood delusion. Entertainment pundits debated whether her Evita success was being overhyped to distract from a $270 million flop. Even neutral observers couldn't ignore how quickly the celebration turned into a trial. For some people, Rachel Zegler wasn't a talented young actress. She was a symbol of everything they resented about modern Hollywood: diversity, feminism, and defiance. YouTube reaction channels capitalized instantly. Titles like, "Woke Snow White Gets Crowned Woman of the Year, Seriously?" or "Hollywood Has Officially Lost It," flooded trending feeds. Commenters echoed the same sentiment. If this is the standard, anyone can be a hero now. The hate wasn't just professional criticism, it was personal. People mocked her voice, her heritage, even her expressions on stage. It was as if no matter how much she accomplished, the internet refused to let her escape the label it had pinned on her years ago. But amid the chaos, a quieter counter-narrative formed. Supporters pushed back, posting clips of her Evita standing ovations and Glamour's Fire and Grace headline, reminding everyone that success and controversy can coexist. One viral tweet said it best: "You don't have to like her to admit she survived what most couldn't." Still, the ratio was brutal. For every fan defending her, there were 10 comments demanding she apologize again for something she'd already moved past. By midnight, her name was trending worldwide. Half the internet mocked her, half defended her, and a few admitted something uncomfortable. Rachel Zegler hadn't just won an award. She had forced people to confront why they were still angry at a young woman who refused to stay quiet. The same platforms that once celebrated her downfall were now amplifying her success. And the irony wasn't lost on anyone. For Zegler, it was just another reminder that in 2025, fame didn't end with applause. It ended with debate. She'd gone from being Disney's scapegoat to Hollywood's lightning rod, and somehow, she was still standing in the storm. Rachel Zegler's story became something bigger than one movie. It exposed how quickly Hollywood crowns and cancels its stars, especially outspoken young women. Her fall wasn't just about Snow White. It was about how uncomfortable people still are with a princess who talks back. She faced political backlash, cultural criticism, and corporate scapegoating, all before turning 25. But she kept her composure, turned her pain into performance, and reminded everyone why she was chosen in the first place. Her rise, fall, and return prove one thing: in the age of outrage, surviving the narrative might be the real fairy tale. From Disney's most hated princess to Woman of the Year, Rachel Zegler's story is a modern Hollywood paradox. She didn't just survive being canceled, she weaponized it. She let the world see her break, and then watched it applaud when she stood back up. And maybe that's the real lesson. You can't control what the internet says about you, but you can control how you rewrite your own story. So, did Rachel Zegler win back Hollywood's forgiveness? Or did she just prove she never needed it? Let us know what you think in the comments below.